Hi, I'm Wanda from Alanda Craft, and today we're going to be talking about the HTVRont Heat Press. Now, RONT stands for Really Outstanding, Never Temporary. Now, I've taken everything out of the box, so let's have a look at what we got. So we got the machine, and I was really delighted when I opened the box and saw the machine. I love this colour. This is the mint green, and it does come in a red as well. I think the gold trim really sets the machine off and gives it a nice elegant look. Really love the look of the machine. Now it comes with a safety base, so in between pressings this is where you place your machine so that you protect your surfaces. Now this does generate a lot of heat, so what I tend to do is I put a breadboard under this as well, just for added protection for my surfaces. Now there also comes a bag. Now this is a lovely heavy quality canvas bag, and that's to put your machine in between projects so that it keeps the dust off it. So what you'll notice here is you have a handle on the top. Now you can use this to lift the machine, or you can use it to apply a light pressure to the item that you're pressing. Some items only require a light pressure, and you can use either the weight of the machine or you can press down lightly using the handle. If you need a medium or a heavier pressure, you can use both hands, or you can use the side handles. Now there are some little indentations here that are really handy for picking up the machine if you find it too difficult to use one hand, and you can also use the side handles to press down when you need a medium or heavy pressure. Okay, so let's take a look at the bottom of the machine. Alright, it has a 10" by 10" heat plate, and there's also a guard around here, a heat guard that'll stop you from burning your fingers, but please make sure that you don't touch the plate when it's hot, because you can get a severe burn from it. It will be very, very hot. So I've plugged the machine in, and as you can see the on-off button is now flashing. So I'm going to press the on-off button, and as you can see the screen lights up and it shows the temperature, the timer, and this is the pressure. So we're going to work with the temperature first. Now it goes up to a temperature of 410 degrees, but you'll find that you'll need 400 for rhinestone projects, so that's a nice hot temperature to doing those projects. But I'm going to use 305 degrees for my project. So I press the temperature button, and then you can use the up and down buttons here to set your temperature. So I'll just take mine, I press it, and you can see there that the numbers are changing. And I'll just take it down to 305, okay, and then that will set at that, and as you can see it's not quite at that temperature yet, but that will keep rising. The other displays are for the timer, and to set the timer you do the same thing. You press the timer button and you can take that up or down, and I'll leave it at 15 seconds. Now the pressure button I can't show you at the moment simply because it won't register until I start using the machine and applying the pressure. So when we start doing our project, I'll show you how that button will change as well. As soon as the machine has reached its temperature and it's ready to use, the button will light up with green, and it also makes a beep. So now when I'm ready to do my project, I simply press the start button. So now I'm getting set up to get organised to do my design. Now I have a breadboard here. Again, I like to protect my surface, and I have a heavy woolen mat here, so that's what I'm going to do my design on. Now if you have the Cricut mat, you can use that. Again, I always use a board underneath it anyway, because the heat does tend to go through and the steam can ruin your mat if you're using a mat. Okay, so these are really great though, so that's the Cricut mat. And if you don't have that and you don't have a woolen pad, you can just use a towel doubled up. But again, make sure that you put a board down to protect your surface. Okay, so now we're going to apply a design to this canvas bag that I have here. Now as you can see I have a breadboard, and I have my woolen mat, and then I have my bag on top. So now I'm over at the machine and I've got all my settings here. I've got the temperature set at 305, and I'm going to press for 15 seconds. Firstly I'm going to run the machine over the fabric just to preheat it, to remove the wrinkles, and also to help reduce the moisture content. Okay, alright, so you can see that's nicely done. Now I get my design, and I just need to decide where it's going to go, probably about there. and have some paws. And firstly I will put this as part of the design on. Now you use your cover sheet, and this cover sheet came with my vinyl, so let's place that over there. And here we go. Now I'm only going to use a light to medium pressure. Now press the start button. You'll see that it counts down. I only want about, just okay. And we'll just let it cool for a moment. Okay, lifting it up. As you can see, the cover sheet is coming away quite nicely. And there we have the first part of our design done. Okay, so now I bring in the second part. Okay, and then put my cover sheet on and bring over the machine once again and press start. You can see it's counting down nicely. We've almost finished. Okay, always remember to put your machine back on the base. Okay, and we just lift to see if it's worked, and it hasn't caught there, so maybe just not quite enough pressure. Just give it a little bit more of a go. Hopefully that will have worked. Yes, that's better. All good. So there we are. That's the design done. Okay, so now we're going to do a t-shirt, and I'm going to run the machine over the t-shirt to remove the wrinkles and any excess moisture that may be in the fabric. So I just line up my design, and I'm just eyeballing it, but I'm bringing it down about 2 finger widths from the neck. Okay, so now I put my sheeting over, and I bring the machine over and just place it on the design. Put it on one side. Because the design is bigger than the machine, we'll do it in 2 lots. Turn the machine on and press one side and then the other. Okay, so there we are. Take that sheet off, and now we'll lift our protective coating, and that's stuck down beautifully. This is a lovely design. I do like this unicorn, and it's from Love SVG, and I'll put a link in the description below. So there's our t-shirt done. So now we're going to do a bag, and we'll do the same thing. We'll bring the machine over and just take out the wrinkles, and then I'm going to fold the bag in half and just put a light crease down the centre, and that's just to help line up my design. And I'm also going to do the same the other way, so just fold it from the bottom up to the top and give it a light press. Alright, so here's my design, and I'm lining it up. I've just used my ruler to make sure that it is the right distance from each side, and that looks fine to me. Now this is another big design, so it'll have to be in 2 lots. So we do the design, the pressing on one side, okay, so come across, and the same thing again. Right, it's done the countdown. Now just lift this sheet, and I think it needs another press, so I'll just do that. Now this is the HTVRont vinyl that I'm using. It's a lovely quality, and it gives a really nice result. Okay, I just need to push that B down into place, and there we go. Slowly pull off the protective cover, and that's worked beautifully, and I'll leave a link to this quote in the description below. So now I thought I'd have a go at doing some cardstock. It's great for making cards and junk journals. So I've used a 100-pound cardstock, and I've just used 10 seconds and the weight of the machine, and the temperature is 280 degrees. And I like the idea of this, and especially as I do a bit of junk journaling, so I look for all sorts of things to be able to do. Okay, let it cool off for a moment, and then we just peel off the protective layer. And that's worked beautifully. Plenty of room for a sentiment, and the decal is available from Love SVG. Now I'm using some holographic vinyl, and this is from Cricut. Again, just the 10 seconds and 280 degrees. So just leaving the weight of the machine to do the card, and the cardstock is again 100-pound weight. Alright, so we'll just lift that off. Okay, let it cool for a moment. Okay. Now you can see that hasn't adhered properly just yet. So what I'll do is just repeat the process. So again, 10 seconds, 280 degrees, and the weight of the machine. Let it cool. I think that's because the holographic vinyl is a little heavier. Okay, it's worked this time. Oh, that's great. I can see all sorts of applications for my paper crafts here. The card's curled a little, but that's fine. It hasn't wrinkled. So just to recap on some of the things that we did using our HTVRont heat machine. We made some cards, and these are ready to be embellished and have Happy Birthday and Merry Christmas put on them. So it works well with cardstock. And then we have our bags. So I will put links to all of the sayings and to the images below. Another bag. And we have our unicorn, which I think is really lovely, on our t-shirt. And little heartbreaker. So what's our opinion of the HTVRont? Well, I just love it. I like the idea of being able to see the pressure when I'm pressing something. I love the idea of being able to use the handles on the side. Love the colour, which I've already mentioned. If you're looking for a heat press machine, I certainly think these are a good buy. They're inexpensive, but they're really good quality, and I think you'll have a lot of fun using one.